Welcome back to Wise Words with SJ, a show where we talk about wisdom, my experiences, and how I can help you with them. Today, we are talking about a very serious subject, something I know a lot about: abortion. Whoever thought that we would have to worry about that again? Whoever thought that the Supreme Court would take away Roe versus Wade? Whoever thought those things? I never did. I thought everything was put to bed, so to speak, in that area. Guess what? It wasn't. That's because the conservative wing of the Supreme Court decided to X Roe versus Wade and tell us women what we should do with our own bodies. Can you imagine that? I grew up in the 50s where you had to wear a certain thing every single day to school. You couldn't wear pants, you had to wear a dress or a skirt. If you were wearing stockings, and you had to wear stockings, by the way, you had to have a garter belt to hold them up or a girdle, because if your tush moved, forget about it. They didn't want to see just your slip, holding together your tush or your hoo-ha. Well, anyway, who wants to go back to the 50s? I don't, but it looks like, are we headed back there now? I want to tell you my experience with abortion. Okay, so I had never had what you call regular periods like most women. I just don't, it just didn't happen. So I had an IUD in because I thought, if I wanted to have fun, it was the 70s, it was the disco era, I would have lots of fun and go and party and enjoy myself and go out. Well, all of a sudden, one day I started feeling like really, really very tired. I don't know why I got so tired, but I was feeling very tired. So I went to my gynecologist and they told me I was pregnant. Oh my God. How is it possible that I was pregnant? I had an IUD in. Is that possible? How? I was covered. I hadn't taken the birth control pill yet, but I had an IUD in there. So what happened was, what was I going to do? I didn't have a job. I had just left my teaching career, and I didn't really have a job. I was singing in the cabarets at night, going to auditions during the day. I think I was about 24 or 25. I wasn't ready to have a child, and I was in shock. And the worst thing is that I was partying a lot because it was the 70s. I was drinking. I was smoking cigarettes, Marlboro Red. I was smoking. I was having a good old time, so drinking vodka martinis. I wasn't ready. And besides, I'm thinking, what kind of a child am I going to have if I'm doing all those things? So I reached out to my mother. She knew that our doctor, the gynecologist who had delivered me, Dr. Estrin, he's long gone by now, he was now doing abortions. So guess what? I went to him and I had an abortion. And, it was like, forget about it. So they put me to sleep. I had the abortion and, wow. Wow. So I'm very lucky I was able to have one at that time, okay? Now everything's changed. You have to go to different states to have abortions. Some states will arrest you if you're a doctor giving an abortion. Or let's say you were molested or raped when you're like 10 years old by your father or your uncle or your cousin. And you have to carry that baby and you're a 10-year-old kid. It wasn't your fault. Isn't that horrible? Now, today I have to say that I'm not in favor of abortions. However, it's my body. And you can't tell me what I can do or what I shouldn't do with my body. It's my right. It's my body. And so much of this is like, dictated to us by men. Most of the time, most things are still dictated to us women by men. And I'm a strong advocate of women's rights and women's liberation and burning the bra like we did in the 70s. Yes, I burned my bra in the 70s and I marched with all the women. Equal rights for equal women. Yes, very, 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 very important. So, although I don't agree with abortions today, don't tell me that I could have one or can't have one. Don't tell me that, because if anybody is ever telling me what to do, I'm going to fight back, because that's the kind of person I am. So do what's right for you. If you feel like you have to have one, if something has happened and you just can't have that child, or if your baby inside of you is sick, and you know that if you carry it to term, there's a danger of you dying or the baby dying, do what's right for you. Luckily for me, I had my son when I was older and he was healthy, that I was bed confined so that I would have him. And I'm very grateful he's 40 years old now. But I just want to say that if you need one, get one. Don't feel bad. But men, come on, don't tell us what to do. Haven't you learned that already by now? This is 2024. It's not 1950. Who wants to go back to those long skirts, women behind the stove, cooking barefoot and pregnant? I know I don't want to, and of course I couldn't right now anyway. But I feel really bad about what's going on in the world. We women deserve better. And you deserve a woman that feels that way about herself, men. I'm just saying, don't you think? Think about it. Think about that. Do you really want a mealy-mouthed woman that says, "Yes, sir, whatever you want, sir. I'll do whatever you say. Do you want the food on the table right now, honey? Or please let me clean up, let me polish your shoes." I know I'm talking like, like Betty Boop or something. Look it up. But I'm just saying, come on. We women believe that we have every right to have an abortion if we want it. It's our bodies. Make money equal to what you're making right now and do the best that we can for us. If I had a baby today, back then, I don't know what the baby would have been like. I doubt it would have been healthy, because when I was pregnant with this son, I didn't drink or use. I ate healthy. I stayed in bed so that I could give birth to him, a healthy child. So write me, talk about it. I will sympathize with you, and I'll be there with you if you need me, because I've been through it. I've been through it a number of times. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, yes, I've had abortions a number of times, so I know what you're going through. I feel you. I really, really do. I know. And the men that you're with, just tell them how much it all means to you. We can't let people govern our bodies. We can't let a government govern our bodies, can we? We're free, speaking, believing, strengthening, voting people in the world right now. We are. And we need everybody to see that and believe that we could do what's right for us. You're not going to tell me what to do with my body. No, sirree. So remember that. I love you. Love yourself enough to do what's right for you. I support you. Whatever you need. If you needed an abortion, I will support you 125%. And if nobody told you they love you today, I love you because you're you. Oh, and by the way, changing gears, my next episode will be marrying young. Who'd have thought, right? Of course, right. And please email me at wisewords@jltv.tv, and I'll answer all your questions, whether you like it or not.